Good morning. It is Sunday. It is day 8. That's right, day 8 of the 30 Day Show. I am Omi Bell, your host. I do have a co-host, but I don't know. He's slowing down. It's like every day he might be in, he might not be in. I might have to message him and be like, "Hey, where you at? You good? We're like, what's going on? You good morning? You up?" But you know what? This ain't for the faint of heart. Okay, it's a whole 30 days, every day 90 days, and it's something that I set out to do, and I'm finding it to be really one. I'm finding it to be a super interesting experiment. Like having people who um people who are joining in with their businesses and things like that. Also, time changed last night, but actually that should, I think time first of all, did time change? I logged into my when I logged into my laptop, I saw that it said 6:51. I almost freaked out because I'm like, my phone says 6:01. Like, what's going on? So that means that time did shift. However, we live in a world now where all your tech shifts automatically. So now you don't have like an old school. So if you had alarms set, then your alarms would automatically reset. So we don't have like, it's not old school where we gotta go. Like the things that may not change is maybe your microwave, your stove. When I first logged in, my computer was saying one thing, but then after it hit the internet, it revamped. So I was like, oh shoot, time changed last night. So what is it? Spring forward. So now we're forward a an hour. So it's 6 a.m. But while you're adjusting out there to what the time is, you know, some people might be late for church this morning. Some people might, be late to whatever you got going on. So there's that. I'm so excited to just keep the show going. Somebody said in a comment the other day on LinkedIn, they were like, going what you doing live, going live every day for 30 days. A lot of people wouldn't do, and what I realized, like I take for granted a lot of stuff that I think of and do, because to me I'm like, okay, well if I said I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And if I said I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna have to figure out a way that my life shapes up so that I absolutely do it. Because if not, then what am I doing? What it has caused me to do is, because I'm an entrepreneur and I kind of like, my time is my time. I do what I do. It has caused me to um get disciplined. So my morning routine has gotten real tight, and I'm also noticing what time I need to wake up. I was trying to wake up at 5:30 and be like, okay, I can get ready in like the 30 minutes and then get down by 6. But ultimately it takes me, so the process, it takes about just about, if I need to give about 5 minutes to actually like logging in, computer loading up, and then like getting on. So set the conditions for you to be successful. I think that's one of the things that I'm going to continue to say throughout this process is, first thing you need to do is set the conditions for you to be successful. So my idea was, I'm going to go live for 30 days for 90 minutes. I'm going to clip the hell out of it. We're going to take the clips. We're going to just post the clips, and we're just going to observe what happens in the data. So I started brand new accounts, the 30 Day Show on TikTok, 30 Day Show on Instagram. These are brand new accounts. I'm using my own Instagram, my own YouTube, and my own Instagram, the Omi Bell Instagram and the Omi Show YouTube. So those handles didn't change. And then my Omi Bell LinkedIn. Interestingly enough, LinkedIn has been one of the places that people are tuning in consistently, and I'm getting a lot of impressions on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I think people shouldn't take for granted the level of like where you could surface if you post on LinkedIn, because it's a way to establish credibility quickly. I know that we want to go straight to the Instagrams and we're going to straight to the TikToks because we're looking for audience, as in like we're just looking for consumers. But if you're looking for like brand deals, or you're looking for to reach executives, I think, or looking to reach other employees of like corporations and different things like that, absolutely pay attention to going live or creating regularly on LinkedIn. The thing about it is on LinkedIn, it's a place to surface credibility. So I don't know that it's all about like posting the picture, your cute picture kind of thing, like you might do on Instagram. And it is a great place to continuously post associations. So, if you win an award, if you get a new partnership, if you what else? If you get a raise, or you get, not a raise, you don't want to talk about that. But if you get like a new position or something like that, it's a good place to post that. However, what I've been testing out on LinkedIn as well, not necessarily with a 30 Day Show, but just as Omi Bell, I've been testing out some vulnerable pieces. So when I'm having like a real feeling sometimes, because I'm in the middle of like work and trying to like do a thing, sometimes I'll actually go on LinkedIn and I'll say like the real thing. And not that I'm not saying the real thing in other places, but it's like in writing. It's not that many places that I'm posting my writing. Because I'm not blogging. So I have like a LinkedIn newsletter that's about to change lives for the like third time because I've changed that new link, the title of that LinkedIn newsletter so many times. But I'm gonna go and actually put in the change it again. But that's the place I'm doing most of the writing. When I'm like, I actually am having like a feeling where this ain't about like an award or celebrating BGV's 10 years. I want to actually go to LinkedIn and say what I'm really feeling. In doing that, it actually surfaces beyond the algorithm that everybody is used to and ends up getting a lot of traction. So the algorithm currently that everybody's used to on LinkedIn is what I just said: celebration of associations. You won an award, you went and you did a thing that was business related, and everybody's making it real business related. I think there's room to have authenticity as related to business. Excuse me, that's not just about painting the accolades of work, but also just being like, here's what I really am dealing with at work. Here's what's really happening. I've seen studies and research fly over LinkedIn that I really looked at. The writing on LinkedIn, the people writing articles and stuff like that. Consistency is everything across the board, but I think don't sleep on LinkedIn is what I'll say. It's one of those places that I'm seeing you could really, really take off, especially if your content is authentic. But here's what I'm seeing on the other side of like, because I think there's a lot of gurus out there that'd be like, oh, don't, your algorithm is now conditioned to you. So should you start a new profile? So, oh, just go start a new profile and try there. And then you look at it and you go, I don't want to start a new profile. Like right now on the Omi Bell side, I got like 28,000 followers. On the like, I could even imagine that with Black Girl Ventures. On TikTok, we have over 200,000 followers. We have 30,000 folks on LinkedIn. We have 64,000 followers on Instagram. Like I in no way, shape, or form am dreaming about creating a new account for Black Girl Ventures. We gonna be Black Girl Ventures where we are right now, and that's it. And for me, I was a little bit like, that's daunting. Like I lifted this current account to 28,000 people. Now I gotta go lift another account. I don't know if I got it in me. So what I decided to do is just go hands off with it and like not be so in control of, is it right? Is it the best content? Is it not the best content? Did it do a thing? Did it not do a thing? Oh my God, heavily monitoring every day to make sure, and just say, you know what, we're gonna create a new profiles and we're just gonna flood them with clips. So this 90 minutes every day, StreamYard automatically clips it, and StreamYard does better. Here's the kicker. StreamYard, in my opinion, does better with clips than Riverside FM does, and then Opus Clips. A lot of people use Opus Clips. They'll film a long form video, put it in the Opus Clips. Opus Clips will chop it up. Also, Opus Clips has a connection to YouTube in a way where, like, if you film a long-term content piece, and then you can set your Opus Clips to automatically clip what goes to your YouTube. When you upload it, Opus Clips will automatically clip it up for you, and you can use it across social. That's a great feature, and that makes it seamless. However, sometimes the clips aren't all that. Sometimes it doesn't capture context well. I discovered that StreamYard clips really well. Now, here's the differences, though. On Riverside FM, the audio is better. The audio, and sometimes even like, I have a professional camera that I'm using, but I feel like sometimes the look and feel of Riverside is better. The audio on Riverside is absolutely better. So if you are doing a podcast or something like that, and you're looking for somewhere to record, I highly recommend Riverside FM. It's also cost effective, and so I like that. It also has a little bit more capabilities for you to add like an editor, versus like on StreamYard, they don't have an editor function yet, which they need to. All they have is like co-host, and then they have like admin. But they should have another layer where you can add like an editor. That'd be dope. They don't have that right now. So to get access to everything, you have to be an admin, or you have to be a co-host in a certain way. Either way, with the co-host and the admin, you're adding an extra seat. So StreamYard makes you pay for an extra seat in order to add somebody as a co-host. I think there's things inside that business model they're trying to fix. They need to work out, because I don't know. I don't feel like you should have to pay for a seat for a co-host, because co-host doesn't have access to anything. But I would love to pay for a seat as an extra seat for like an editor, because if StreamYard gave me the option to pay for an editor, I absolutely will. No, like without thinking about it. And so on Riverside, you could do that. Riverside, the audio looks great. The video looks great. It's a really great platform. I like it. It does everything you need to do, except clip well. Like right now, it does not clip well. StreamYard clips better. So stand out to say what I'm doing. Listen, I'm giving y'all what I'm doing with this. And what happens is that somehow people are not listening. Like before we started the show, I laid it out to Cam literally like, hey Cam, this is what I'm gonna do. 30 days, 90 minutes. We're gonna clip it like StreamYard clips. All I gotta do at that point is I have a content support person. Shout out to Kiara. She goes in, she takes all the clips and she just floods the platforms. And that's what I'm doing. And then after the first couple days, he's like, oh my God, how did you get all these clips? I'm like, bro, I've been telling you exactly what I'm doing. Are you not listening to me? So I am telling y'all exactly how I'm doing this, because I'm saying that this works. You don't need to go live every day. But even if you go live once a week through like a StreamYard, clip it up, let it auto clip for you, because right now we need so much automation to support whatever we're trying to do. We need so much automation. We need ease right now. There's a lot of stuff happening in the world. We basically in World War III, and it's crazy. So I want people to skip steps. That's part of the reason why I'm bringing on these business owners. Part of the reason why we're having these conversations is because I want y'all to be able to skip steps. Good morning, Tiffany. Good morning to my folks on Instagram too. The whole goal is to also at the end be able to observe the data, the analytics. So what I'm seeing right now is we take after I film here 90 minutes, a pop-up is going to pop up when I hit in stream, and I generated clips. After I generated clips, my content person, she'll wait. They'll generate in about 15, 20 minutes. After that, she'll go in and she'll like take the set. She'll look at the clips. She'll see which ones she thinks are best. And she'll take 7 to 10 of those clips and she'll just straight post them. The other thing about StreamYard is you can just post from StreamYard to all these places, the clips. So all she's doing is clicking buttons. Like StreamYard already generates it. She goes in behind the scenes and then she'll just click. She'll look at it. She'll look at the video. The videos are under 3 minutes, all of them. And then she'll go in and she'll say, I want to send to YouTube Shorts. I want to send to Instagram. I want to send to TikTok. Now, here's the thing about TikTok. TikTok does not, sorry, Hyacinth, hold on, I'm bringing you up. I have a guest that's here in my waiting room. I'm going to bring her up, but I got into this and I want to get through it. StreamYard will, so TikTok. The StreamYard TikTok connection isn't as seamless as the rest of the platform. So you have to, what it'll do is it'll send to TikTok's, TikTok has like a notification area inside of your DMs. So when you hit post to TikTok, it'll send those videos into this notification area. So then you have to open up the app and then actually click it and then post it. The good thing though is when you go into the app on the TikTok app and then you click it, when you click it, it auto puts it in there. It's not like you don't have to like download it, but it'll literally just post. So you be able to hit the button, it'll pop the video up as if you're making a new post, and then you just hit next, whatever, like you're gonna make a post. So TikTok is probably the one that's that has like extra, it's a little less automated, has extra steps to it. What I think I'm gonna experiment with, I'm gonna keep going for TikTok with this one, but if you look at the platforms that Americans are using specifically, the ones that are the biggest, there's YouTube, there's Facebook, and then there's Instagram, and then TikTok is after. So I know that people feel like people are moving away from Instagram to a certain extent, but Facebook, but people are still on Facebook. People are still watching content on Facebook, and Facebook pays, just to let y'all know. Like, it ain't like I'm getting from some content that I got that evidently was popular. I'm getting like small little like $3 checks from Facebook, and I have no idea what content this is or like how many people are looking at it or nothing like that. I just keep getting these like, hey, we sent you $3, right? And I'm like, what? What it clued me into is like, oh, Facebook pays. So what I think I'm gonna have her start doing is adding Facebook to the flood and start having my Facebook page flood with the show. But first I need to tell people that that's what I'm doing because they won't be from day one. So it will so yeah, Tiffany, she's saying she usually uses yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was doing too. But after using StreamYard once, actually I started using it for the Omi show. And then I was like, actually, these clips are dope. And I noticed that they were better than the Opus clips. So I was like, people are sleeping on StreamYard clips. And I don't think it always did that. I think this is maybe fairly new. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think it always did AI clips, but now it does. Well, actually now like pretty much the editing software that you might use, a lot of them do AI clips. Like StreamYard wasn't doing AI clips at first. I'm sorry, not StreamYard. Riverside. Riverside FM wasn't doing AI clips either. And then they started doing AI clips because they know that's where the money's going. I was talking to a friend of mine who is works in or connected to like the agency world, and he was saying that like all these podcasts that y'all see, people are paying like $10,000 a month just for people to clip it. Like all they do is they have somebody they hire, and all that person's job is to do is clip that 2-hour podcast that they did. So you watching like Club Shay Shay, Drink Champs, Cam Show, The Pivot, all those folks, they're paying like $10,000 a month for somebody to just clip it. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not doing that because that's not, I'm not paying $10,000 a month. So how can I do this the quickest, the easiest? So what these platforms are realizing is if they get good at clipping, that more people will pour into the platform. So I'm also predicting that from a business model standpoint, they're letting us in, they're letting you in right now for the low, but eventually the next wave of this is there's going to be a higher tier for the clips. So like right now, a higher paid tier for you to get access to these clips. So right now when I'm just paying my regular StreamYard fee for it. And I'm just paying my regular Riverside FM fee for it. We're not paying, we're not doing anything extra to get access to those clips. It does it automatically for whatever rate we have right now. But you want to be grandfathered in. So I empower and encourage you to figure out, because I'm thinking that this is going to become so valuable over time that they're going to start making you pay either for more space, or they're going to have to start making you pay to add, hey, generate AI clips. People are going to pay for it because it makes sense to pay for it. If you out here and these agencies are charging people $10,000 a month to clip, and they're doing great with like humans, nothing can beat out a human in that sense. Like, because humans are going to be able to look at it and develop like sentiment. So they're going to be able to take the context of the conversation and wrap it in a good clip. But I think that, understanding that it's worth it for you to get in now on this. All right. So I have a guest today. That was sorry. One thing I need to tell y'all. What am I seeing with data? Maybe I'll hold that for after my guest, because I have, since I'm gonna be holding down this hour, 90 minutes by myself for the most part. So I'm going to bring my guest up. We'll have some conversations, but I think, honestly, I don't know. I don't know where Cameron is. I don't know if he's going to be back. Not because we fell out, but because this is hard to do. Like, we're still cool, we still friends, but it's hard to go live every single day. So I'm giving y'all like how I'm doing it and what I'm doing with it. I'm gonna pause to let my guest up because she's been holding for a while, but I'll get back into what I'm seeing, and I'll get back into like how I'm gonna go about it from a data perspective and share with y'all like the insights on like what I'm seeing next, what I'm going to do next. Because again, I think this is catching a lot of momentum with us going live every day. I can't see, now I'm at a point where I'm like, dang, I'm going to have to hold this up and keep going live, again, but it'll be a new show because the 30-day show got to end after 30 days. All right, here we go. Coming to the stage. Welcome, Hyacinth Tucker, the founder of the Laundry Basket LLC at Laundry Basket Delivery on social. Welcome to the 30-day show. How you feeling?
I am feeling good and I'm actually enjoying the conversation because everything that you've mentioned is stuff that we've either seen or doing and that type of thing. LinkedIn is definitely the spot for us. So I definitely agree. And data collection, we currently do that. So I'm just loving the conversation in the back room. So don't worry.
Oh yeah, good, awesome. Well, tell the people about what you're working on. So when I sent the link out for people to book, you could book more than one day. And Hyacinth is like, say less, I'm in it, and I appreciate that. So welcome. And she was here the other day. She told us a little bit about what she's working on. But for those who were not here, and this is the power of streaming, and this is why I love that you came back because you never know. People popping in different days at different moments. It's Sunday. So like a lot of people who are just either laying in bed right now or getting ready, listening to us like a radio show, are like, let me see what they talking about, right? And so it's always an opportunity to capture a new audience, and this is one of the things I like about streaming. To be honest with y'all, I love it. So tell the people what you do, what you've come up with at Laundry Basket LLC.
Sure. So just to give a little background, I started the Laundry Basket in 2022, and it really was just like an act of kindness for a friend. I went to go visit a friend, and I walked into her living room, and there were just piles and piles of clothes everywhere. And we were laughing and joking about it because, of course, who loves to do laundry? But what I realized is that she was buying new clothes instead of washing the clothes that she had. Like it was that much of a pain for her. And we don't mean like a pair of underwear because we kind of get that, but we're talking about like full on outfits. And so I was like, that's not sustainable, right? Because at some point you're going to have to wash these clothes. And now you just made more of it that you have to wash. So she looked at me and she said, I wish there was someone that could come and take all this clothes and just do it for me. And I would pay for that service. So I said, say less. And I started doing it for her and then realized it was really a bigger need. And so it's exactly like what we talk about. Like people are looking forward to how to make life easier. And I think that we have to learn how to delegate and outsource and figure out that there's some things that it's like, let somebody else do it. And laundry is one of those things for a lot of time starved, busy professionals. And so our goal is just really simple. And it's just like we want to liberate busy individuals and families from the stress, the frustration, overwhelm that comes with doing laundry so that you can have joy and peace and do the things that you value. Because we know things like laundry are not something that you value. You have to do it. We all have to be clean. We all have to have clean clothes every day. But it's not something that you would rather spend your time instead of going to brunch with your friends or spending time with your kids or just breathing. You rather not be sorting, washing, drying, folding, all those types of things and putting it away. So we hit people at different levels because some people are like, oh, I don't mind washing. I hate folding or, those types of things. But we also talk about like, how we save the environment as well, because we know that you're washing clothes and you're putting like one shirt in and using all that water and all that energy because you forgot that you needed that shirt for tomorrow. So we talk about doing those types of things. How do we use products more efficiently and, of course, sustainably as well? So that's what we have going on at the Laundry Basket.
One of the things you said when you were here that I really want to bring back,
Mhm.
um, and one of the things you said I wouldn't want to bring back is you said laundry is related to employment because I brought up how like there's a lot of these kinds of services that exist,
Yeah.
and you have some other angles though. So like yes to those out there at Laundry Basket Delivery on
Mhm.
Instagram. Is it laundrybasketdelivery.com?
Yes, that's the website, laundrybasketdelivery.com. Yes.
Laundrybasketdelivery.com. Laundry Basket Delivery on is the Instagram as well. So for those
Okay.
out there, I see a couple people in the chat going, they have their relationship with laundry and like, listen, any given day, laundry becomes a whole person beside me. Okay, it's like a whole like I just pushed it over. It's on that side of the bed.
It's
I
really
remember where there was this post that was going viral. Where it was like, "What's happening on the other side of your bed?" And it's like you. Some people had like pets over there. Some people had like kids over there. You said some people had laundry just lined up down the other side of the bed that they've washed but have not folded and put up. So I love this, but you also have some work that you're doing like community wise with different entities. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because there could one, if there's people out there who know of organizations that are serving that could use the laundry basket service, I think
yeah.
it's important. Or if you're on the board of, you never know who's watching. You might be on the board of an entity that could actually use laundry services. But you mentioned like kids at school and like unhoused people. So like talk
Mhm.
to me a little bit about that side of the work.
Sure. And so first I'll say that we service Maryland, DC, Northern Virginia, Cleveland, Atlanta, Houston, and we have a small footprint in Toronto as well. So we look at the economic barriers sometimes when it comes to laundry that people don't realize. And so when we look at that, we look at like our unhoused population, right? And so we can do a lot of things to get them prepared for job readiness, but one of the things is like clean clothes. And so to have access to a press suit, clean, items to wear, because of course we know that that is something that, first impressions matter, right? We can lie and say, oh, okay, we just, no, first impressions matter. So we work with a lot of organizations that as they get clothes donated, we launder them or press them and we deliver them to our unhoused population in shelters and other ways and other programs so that they can have clean clothes, not even just obviously for employment, but just in general, right? So that's one of the things. The other thing is when it comes to healthcare. So we're living in a world where our seniors are, actually
Mm,
more of a demographic than, actually younger people, right? So most people are like what we call that sandwich generation. You have the kids you're taking care of, and you have your parents. Right. And so when it comes to our parents, there's some healthcare concerns that come with that as well. Right. So we know sometimes they may experience illnesses that may have them bedridden. Who's going to do that? Because you don't even like doing your own clothes. Now, who's going to,
right.
wash the clothes and, make sure that your parents are, fresh. And so we make sure that we do that as well. And so that has been a big help for like our caregiving population, assisted facilities, all those types of things. And then when it comes to our kids, right, we have kids in the school system who are being bullied, who are actually not coming to school because people are talking about how they smell or how they look, and the parents
Mm,
have access to a washer or a dryer or a way to
mhm.
clean clothes, right? And so now we're working in the school systems to make sure that those kids have clean clothes so that that is not a barrier for them to actually come to school, not being bullied, and then it could be a better environment for everyone, the teachers involved.
Yeah. It's so important. I was a teacher. I've lived a lot of lives. So if y'all hear me say I was a thing, just know it's been a journey. But yeah, wow. I really appreciate that because it's so needed, and that's the one thing I don't know that these other services are doing,
Yeah.
having that level of care, for students. So I think some people hook into maybe like daycares, but like thinking about school age students who could be bullied, I think it's a thing. And I would say people like make sure you check out the IG, make sure you check out the website. I remember, so I have cleaners that come in twice a month, and my cleaners when I was living in the DC area, I would one day I was just sick. I just couldn't get up. I just couldn't do anything for like a week, and I just like and I just called him like, please help, because please help me. Like, can you just come and just fold these clothes for me? Can you just come and just wash this load for me? Because
Yeah.
I just don't have the strength.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that like even if you're not sick, but you just lead a busy life, we have laundry guilt. Like
Mm-hmm.
we have laundry guilt because we're like, it's
Mm-hmm.
the thing I'm supposed to be able to do. It's the thing,
Right.
you know what I mean? We have this like, we're conditioned to feel like a responsible adult means that you have to do certain things yourself.
That's right.
And I'm like, actually, no. There's whole
Mm-hmm.
services that are
Mm-hmm.
set up to help you, to support you, to
Yeah.
like, what I would say, like adulthood is the worst hood. And it's like, well, look over here in this hood, we got some different choices.
Yeah.
So, anything you got coming up? Anything you want to lead the people with?
Well, I just want to say that we're still continuing to do a lot of things in the community. So, like you said, if there's an organization that you know of that may need our services, we're here to help. So, it's seniors.
But wait a minute,
Um,
hold up. You know what? I'm sorry. Let's ask this
okay.
differently. What do you need? Right? Because if I have people watching right now who watch this
Yeah.
later, who are like, you know what? How can we support this business? Do you need connections to other organizations? Do you need a partnership? Do you need, like what could be helpful to help your business keep going? Because I also want to share that with the people. And I realized I didn't ask my previous guest that. My network, again, I don't know who's watching right now from wherever they're watching from, but whoever will watch. But I do believe in the power of network, and so you just never know.
Yes.
A board member might be watching right now, somebody who's ready to be on the board. So as we end, tell us like what, not in the live, but as we in this interview,
Mhm.
what do you know, what do you need? Call it out.
Yeah, I truly need partnerships. We
Okay.
truly want to do more in the community, and we really want to impact those groups that we already refer to. We also do have a program where we provide bras and underwear for our middle
Mm-hmm.
school girls as well. So obviously, being in the laundry field, we obviously see the condition of like underwear when they're just going through their periods, and so we provide them with a new set of underwear for them to start off in hygiene information and workshops around that as well. So we are looking for partnerships. We are looking for places that we can go and actually talk more about our services, where we can partner with seniors, we can partner with our unhoused population, veterans, individuals with disabilities. Our workforce is built off of unrepresented individuals. So that's our veterans, our individuals with disabilities, and our returning citizens. So we're also looking for a pipeline for our workforce as well.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for
Thank
sharing that. Okay. Can somebody
you.
just donate? Because you have a lot of community programs that you're working on, being able to, like, do you have something? You should consider this if you don't, like on your website where it's like, sponsor a family. So like suppose I
Mhm.
wanted to like sponsor a family for a month of laundry, or suppose you're like, with the bra
Yeah.
and panty donation thing, or bra, I don't know if it's donations or if it's like giving, but like is
Yeah.
there somewhere where I could like give and you could buy a set of bra and panty? You know what I mean? Like I don't know,
Yeah, we
how
have
could
to think
I,
of
and by no means am I
it.
telling you to start a nonprofit. Let me be very clear. Okay, you
Got
stay for
you.
profit and you
Yeah.
you continue as a social enterprise, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But do not go out there and start a nonprofit. If it came to the point, because people will recommend to black folks, people will
Mm-hmm.
recommend to black people all the time, oh, maybe you should start a nonprofit. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Tom's gets to give away stuff and nobody says start a nonprofit to Tom's. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
right.
Like,
Mhm.
no, no. So you don't need to. Here's the thing: if you do start a nonprofit, it is beside your business. It is not the
Right.
business that you have
Right.
to do.
Right.
Now if you didn't have customers and you were saying to me like, I just want to give everything away for free, then I would be like, girl, you don't want to be a business. You want to be, you
Right.
don't want to have a for profit. You want to have a
Mm-hmm.
nonprofit. But that's not what I'm hearing you say. So in my recommendations to say, is there a place to donate? I'm not recommending that this becomes a nonprofit. Now, with what I am saying though, is what you could do is partner with a nonprofit that you trust, and
Right.
then people could donate to them. So it's like donate to them. They designate that it is for this particular project, or you launch a project with a nonprofit, and then y'all have a amount of time that you spend where the donations pay for your services to be able to provide. So I would recommend that, like, if
Mhm.
there's some nonprofit that you trust, that y'all partner up and do a project like that, and maybe
Yeah.
you do it like right before school. So maybe instead of like, because you know what, I say people are always doing, backpack drives and school supply drives.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen a bra and panty drive. And I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
Right.
Maybe it does. But how
Mm-hmm.
dope would that be for the laundry
Right.
basket delivery to do a bra and panty drive for middle school girls? It's like, come and donate, drop off,
Mm-hmm.
newly brand new bra and panties for middle school girls, with a
Yeah.
list of like, here's the little sizes we need, you
Right.
know. Say, same thing with like, girl, I can run a gamut because it's the same thing with t-shirts. We
Right.
know around October it's gonna be t-shirt season.
Yeah.
'Cause they get back
Yeah.
in school, it's getting cold outside. It's gonna be everybody put a t-shirt on. See, we moved to California, so we ain't got that season no more. But over here at my house, but
Right.
that was a thing. I have two grown kids. Every year, come October, you gotta buy passive, and where am I gonna find them? So this also might be an opportunity for you to partner with an Amazon. This also might be a partner, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
finding like local clothing places, or partner with a Target or a Walmart or a
Mm-hmm.
Costco. You know what I mean? Navigate to a partner, the partnership people there, and be like, look, for school year 2027,
Mm-hmm.
2027, we want to provide 1,000 girls with bras and panties, like,
Yeah.
or 1,000 kids with t-shirts. We always talk about coats, but we don't talk about layers. Like they
Yeah.
need coats, but they also need t-shirts.
Nothing t-shirts. That's right.
So
I,
anyway, I could
I
brainstorm
love
all day. But
I
things
love
be
it.
so
Love it.
that's just some of your partnership asks. So have you when you go to these corporations, you're asking
Yes.
like, look, I want a partner to be able to deliver the kids this way. And so looking up like what that may look like. Boys and Girls Club partnership. Now, Boys and Girls Club, they're having an interesting time right now because they gotta like raise capital. And then we're living in
Right.
a world where nobody wants to like we're living in a world where things aren't as binary. Like being binary isn't as wanted. Like girls and boys. So it's like, well, I gotta be
Mhm.
girls and boys. Like that. So they're
Mhm.
having their own challenges. However, they still getting funded. And so
Right.
they may need partners, especially if you can go to a national one and can get partnership across multiple markets. This could be really interesting for you. So
I love
yeah,
that.
yeah,
You.
yeah,
Thank you. I appreciate
100%.
you.
Thank you
I
for coming.
appreciate
I
you.
appreciate you. All
Thank you
right,
so much for
keep doing
having
the
me.
great work. Y'all go check her out.
Thank you.
Laundry Basket Delivery. All right.
Thank you,
Have a good
everyone.
rest of your day.
All
All
right.
right.
You as
Bye.
well. Bye.
My next guest. Okay, let me tell you about this woman. She has been BGV co-working like BGV advocate for years now. Okay, let me tell you, I started BGV in 2016, but in 2020, after the pandemic hit, we started this session called co-working. And so every week, from about actually, to be honest, every week since around March of 2020, we've been doing co-working every Wednesday. We've now switched up the hours a little bit, but every week we've been doing that. And Beth has been diehard there, okay? And when I say she's giving people insight, she's giving people, sharing resources and coming in and being like one of the best community members that we have. And for me, as the creator of BGV, what I am good at and other things I created is creating containers. But a container is nothing without amazing people that come in and are willing to share and willing to commune in certain ways. So I want to bring her up. I want to have her talk about her company, but also just we could chop it up. Honestly, we could just be sitting here and chop it up for hours. So coming to the stage, y'all. I just want to invite Beth Griffin. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you so much, Omi, for allowing me to be a part of your wonderful platform. And I just have to give it back to you as the founder of Black Girl Ventures. You have poured into others, lifted others while you climb. And I'm so appreciative, and all of BGV is appreciative. And Joe, oh my goodness, Joe just helped me on Thursday with uh with my video for a grant. So just having co-working and pitching is just a wonderful resource. I really appreciate you and all of the BGB team and all that you do for us.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate y'all for joining. Joe is my daughter, and my middle child, and she is our community manager. So she manages co-working every week. And Joe is a special person. I mean, period. Always has been since they were a kid. And they have the we have I would say all of my kids have an affinity for community in terms of like service and really supporting people, but Joe has a special I think personality that is like just so bright and just so giving and just so engaged and present. And I've not met a person that didn't love Joe, period. If you met Joe, you love Joe. That's it, like that is over the course of their entire life. And I'm so happy to have like my family working with me and building this with me and being able to serve community in the ways that we love. Shout out to my morning crew. Tiffany Maria's not here yet, but Tiffany, Luxury, Larice, and shout out to everybody on Instagram that's watching right now. I appreciate y'all. All right, Beth. So tell the people what you do, because to be honest with you, we've been talking all these years and I don't even know if I fully know what it is. I'll just be like, she's that girl. I don't know exactly what it was. She is that. Yes, whatever she doing, go forth because it's great. You know what I mean? That's how I've always felt
Yeah.
about you. But we never got to full explanations of what it is. So I'm excited to hear from you here. Tell the people what your company does.
So I have two. I have one that I just recently started called Annex Ventures. And what we do is help small organizations implement artificial intelligence responsibly, ethically, and we also do professional and workforce development in AI because everyone should be able to access the platform and participate in the AI revolution.
Mm-hmm.
And my other business, Renewable Renegades, we also do workforce development training. And we've done workforce development training for Power Core, and that is a program that's based in Philly, but there's also a Boston chapter. That's where I'm from. I'm repping Boston, Massachusetts, City of Champions.
Hey, okay.
And it helps 18 to 24-year-olds start in a career in the renewable energy industry. And it focuses a lot on women
Mm.
and BIPOC individuals. And so that's what I do. I also like to lift others as I climb. I found out I had a really good knack for training. And I've also implemented AI into renewable energy for site research for commercial solar properties as well too. So I'm collaborating, I'm intersecting both of my companies together.
So I got questions about renewable energy because I feel
Mhm.
like, we're always talking about renewable energy, clean energy. Like this is always on the political commentary. And then it kind of just disappears after they get in office. So they say it and then they get in office and then you hear, well, Republicans finally at some point coming around to climate change. But you don't, and then it just kind of dies out in a certain way I feel like it also just goes back to like organizations working on it versus like our government staying engaged on it. Break
Mhm.
it down for people. Renewable energy, solar, water, like what
Hydro,
wind.
wind, hydro, and geothermal, which is really up and
Mm.
coming. You know,
What
those
what
are
made you
the
okay? So back up a step, because how did you even get into this? One, I love hearing about women, Black folks being in, people of color being in these spaces, because I'm pretty sure you don't see a lot of people that look like you maybe in some of these spaces when you're going into them to talk about renewable energy. So I'm curious as to like what inspired you to get into it.
honestly, it was when my daughter was 8 years old and she came home from school and she's like, "Mom, we have to recycle. We have to take care of the planet." And so that's what, a little girl, my heart inspired me. And then I have to give a big shout out to Judy Cazot, who's also part of the BGV family, because we were both in energy as energy brokers. However, she introduced me into solar energy in 2019, and I've been rocking with it ever since. And you are so right on me about there's not a lot of people that look like us in the energy industry. When I went to an information session right before COVID, there were 3 people of color in that room out of a couple about 200 people. One was an elected official, so only 2 of us were actually people of color
Actually,
in
in
the
the
room.
industry. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I also have to give a big shout out to Browning the Green Space. That's a nonprofit that is based in Massachusetts. They've expanded to other states such as Texas. There's 3 tiers. They have Brown in the Green Space, they have Greentown Labs, and they have a second tier, which slips my mind right now. But I've participated in 2 out of 3 of those programs. And I
Mm.
could say they have really changed the color of the room. And the ED of that organization is Carrie. And when I talk about pouring into individuals, they saw that issue too. And they got together. I was a first time participant in their first cohort. I did what they said, and I ended up getting a contract with the city of Boston.
Wow.
Small, but It
But
was,
still,
but
yeah.
still, the journey
Actually,
begins with a
you
single
know what? I'm
step.
gonna have to reach out to you because we're working on some workforce development things at BGV. So I used to work in workforce development. I'm gonna come back to energy in a second. I used to work in workforce development before BGV. And what I realized where we are evolving to is like, we generally serve entrepreneurs, and that's been who we've been serving. And we'll keep doing that because workforce development includes job development. But typically what people are talking more about is talent development. And so I am saying that BGV can come from the side of small businesses. We can develop jobs. So we can say, okay, we'll come in on the job developer side and help and support small business owners to be able to hire, because that's part of the challenge. Is that like people get so one, I'm happy to hear about you and workforce development from this talent development side with renewable energy, because now we can be thinking about that also from the standpoint of like how you develop your company, people you might need to hire, but who else is out there that needs to hire these people, I think is the thing that I also think about. So anyway, I might reach out to you separately about that because I'm thinking about how the funding that we need for it. um but going back to renewable energy, you said something. You said y'all were energy brokers. And talk to
Yeah.
me about that. What does that look like? Because I am so green, about this
Mhm.
industry. What, in the sense of like how you get into it, or how, like, I'm familiar with like types of energy and stuff like that, of course, but like in terms of working in it and what's available, where there's availability to work in the energy industry is what I don't know. And I'm not necessarily having, I'm not a scientist. I haven't had particular interest in, well, I am interested in science because I'm super interested in space. Okay. Also, that's a whole nother conversation about it, extraterrestrials, but we'll I digress on that for a second. With the energy, when it comes to being in the energy realm or the energy field as a professional, what does it mean to be an energy broker? And like, what is the entry to this industry? Like, did you go to school for it? You said your daughter were you already an energy broker by the time she came home and said that? Or did you, like, she said that and then you were doing something else and you said, I'm gonna go into this industry field? Like, what? I'm curious about that part too.
So
Sorry,
that
I asked
was
you a lot
5
there.
Okay, no, thank you for the question. So that was 5 years later when I became an energy broker. It's a low level entry. So you just have to take a training class and pass a test, basic energy policies and procedures for the state of Massachusetts about the working within the law. And also, it's just putting yourself out there. I started with my warm market family and friends to say, hey, I can save you money on your bill, to teach you how to analyze a bill. And it's really that
Mm.
simple. And then you have to just have an ID. I had an official ID made that I wore. And that validates you having that ID with your license. It's I think it
Mm-mm.
was it's $20, very low startup, very low startup. And I prided myself with helping people that were on a fixed income and helping people that wanted to budget better to lower their energy rates. So it's really a very easy entry point into the energy broker industry.
Okay, got it. So now in renewable energy, when you're training people, what are you training them to be able to do?
Honestly, I one of the last sessions, trainings that I did was teaching our young people all the possible careers that they could have in the energy industry. And a lot of those
Mm.
careers aren't necessarily, they're byproduct of the renewable energy industry, such as marketing, such as customer service, and also interview prep, because a lot of times it's how much they like you, how they feel you're going to interact with their clients they already have, their warm market, and how you're going to interact with the cold market to do some business development and to procure clients. And those skills are really important. Interviewing, resume building, those types of things.
Oh, okay, got it. What kind of jobs are available in the energy industry?
Oh my goodness. So one of the great jobs that are available, electrician.
Okay.
Electrician,
It's interesting because I
very
don't know that I tie that to energy industry. Like when I hear in energy industry, I wasn't initially tying
mhm.
that to electrician. You know what I mean? Like that. You know, I'm so glad you said it because I would have never put that together. But well, tell me, how is it? How is now? I get it. You're an electrician. You're working with electricity, but like, is that
Mhm.
considered an energy job? Like, is it? Yeah, I don't
Yes,
know. Like, I wouldn't have.
it's
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't have.
it
I
is
wouldn't have
one
put that
of the
together.
it's one of the top jobs in Massachusetts. You can't collect an electric vehicle charger, which we call EV chargers, solar panels, none of that without an electrician. So they are very
Mm.
important to the industry. And it's one of the fields where you'll incur little to no debt. If you go through the union, they pay you to learn. And I did my research. They actually have, I think it's $2,500 a year. There's a school in the next town over $2,500 a year for the whole year to do a private electrician school outside of the union. So it's very,
Mm.
very, very, very affordable. And a lot of times there's scholarships available. And also HVAC, because that's energy reduction and
HVAC
installing
is
heat
is
pumps.
energy too. Okay, so maybe
Ye-
this is. I told you
Yeah.
I'm green because in
Mhm.
my mind, again, in my mind, I hear these jobs: electrician, HVAC, all that. I'm not. So is being a plumber considered being in industry energy? No.
Now it is. There's a company called Revision Energy. So, yes, because why not install a dishwasher that uses 40% less energy, 25% less water, and still get your dishes clean? And shower heads, lower water flow,
Mm.
toilets, lower water flow. And there's tax credits. Like they will pay you in the form of a rebate to actually implement these things in your house. And if you're a landlord, in the units of your tenants as well.
Mm. Wow. Okay. Yeah, well, there you go. I was today years old when I actually realized that the renewable, like the energy industry, includes things that save energy, and help conduct energy better. Well, I knew the conduct energy better part, but I don't think again. I think electrician. I didn't initially think to myself like, oh, that means you're in the industry. And let's talk about AI because what are you seeing in your industry? You know, what are you seeing around how people will develop? Do you think I feel like being an electrician or HVAC, this is one of the places that AI won't necessarily disrupt, but it may actually enhance to make us better, but maybe not take the full jobs. But I don't know. What are you seeing? Because I could be wrong. What are you seeing in development of like AI in the energy industry?
So, one of the things is like how I personally used it to do some research that would take me, oh my goodness, months, actually took me maybe half an hour. I use AI for site locations because Boston doesn't have that much space for commercial solar and usually it would be rooftop solar. So I said, let me look outside of Boston in an environmental justice neighborhood and see what land is for sale that can be used, that's zoned for commercial use. So I use AI and I prompted it to actually put those are the deliverables that I want. It must have this, 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 and this. And with it gave me 14 properties. Only 3 of those were viable properties. And a competitor actually bought one of the properties, which I can't blame them because the price
Mm.
was too good. So that's how you can use AI, and also in the trades. And so you can actually just use your phone and use AI to just take video of a room or take pictures of a room, and then it could do a lot of the planning for you instead of,
Mm.
so it actually shortens the time that you have to work, which is just wonderful. So you can spend that. And another thing, so 80% of leads go to the companies that are able to answer the phone. And so then you have AI stepping
Mm.
in where you
To
have an
answer the
AI
phone.
agent to answer the phone,
Mm-hmm.
book appointments, and do that customer outreach. And so that's another thing. It's costing you business and money and revenue by not implementing it. So those are three ways that AI has made the industry a lot better.
The phone thing, you saying something. Like we are now gonna be talking to AI agents on the phones a lot of the times. And it's better than your like than the people that like enter your blah blah blah. Like, no, actual full on conversations walking you through what can happen. Sometimes you don't even know that it's not a person. Is like what we're seeing now. So that was I really, that was a good one. That was really good. Well, what you want to leave the people with before you hop out of here? Anything you got coming up, or you want to share?
Well, one of the things I'm participating in right now is an I-Corps program sponsored by the National Science Foundation. I was one of 24 people picked to participate in it. And it's how to use AI to actually lower medical mistakes. So that's one of the ways that AI is making life better. I would say a lot of people are afraid of AI, get comfortable with it, take a training, because a lot of times, I'm going to be honest, I'm a straight shooter. It is taking some jobs, but also
Mm.
you need to know how to use it. Who are they more likely to let go if you are a worker? The person that doesn't know how to use AI and doesn't know
Mm.
how to implement and execute, or the person that you're like, how do you get that work done? Like me, I've been low key using it since 2022. And people are like, oh, this is great. This is great. And I was keeping my mouth shut. They didn't know it was chatty. Chat GPT was helping me out. But now it's become more socially acceptable. So now a lot of times I'll put, this is done with the help of AI. So just face your fears and just learn,
Okay.
just that's all I have to say.
That's a good
Try it
message.
out and learn.
Face your fears and just learn. Listen, that's the message of today for sure. Thank you so much for joining me, Beth. Well, I appreciate you in all the ways, and thank you so much for being a part of BGV. Yeah, we're gonna keep rocking. All right.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Yeah, this has been, we're already at the hour mark. And I love it when like the shows go by so fast. The conversations are so good. I could be talking to the people that I'm bringing on all day. I do have one more guest. I did promise though that I would get back into the data. So before I bring Corey up, I do want to go over what I'm doing with the 30-day show, how I'm seeing the data shape up. So for those of you who had just joined a little later in the show. One, welcome. Hello. Okay. Welcome, Tiffany. Welcome, Luxury Larice. Welcome, Corey. Dr. Bravo, I see you. Welcome to all my folks on Instagram who are, let me see. Instagram moves very fast. So it's hard for me to catch everybody's names. So I can only catch like the last few names of people who joined, and they may have like joined and hopped off, so you never know. But thank God. You know what I'll do? If you drop a comment, I'll mention you. Let me do that. So Mrs. Chocolate H2 Ocean. Bougie in the kitchen, what's up? Let's see who else. Drop a comment and then I'll mention you. So there we go. That's what I'll do from now on. Drop a comment and then I'll mention you so I'll know that you're still here. Because Instagram moves so fast I can't catch everybody. But if you're on LinkedIn or if you're on YouTube or if you're on Twitch right now, then I can catch it because it's in my chat. Hi, Eva. Hey girl, hey. Thank you so much for joining me. I do have another guest. Let me tell y'all about the 30-day show though, real quick. what you're watching right now is I had a crazy idea to be like, I'm going to go live for 30 days and I'm going to open up the interview. So I'm going to just send out a link and let the people who are on my list. So that you're seeing right now are in my network in some way. Either they're on my email list, they're on my Omi Homies text list. The Omi Homies text list, if you want to become an Omi Homie, come on now. You might as well. 202-918-4483. Just text me. I did. Oh wait, let me delete that because I have no more booking slots, so I can't send you out a booking link. But I was saying, but you could join, become a Omi Homie, become a Omi Homie. There we go. 202-918-4483. Just text me. Also, today is Sunday, so the Omi Show will be live on Sirius XM at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Actually, I think it's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right now. No, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, it's 10 a.m. So right after I hop off, 30 minutes after I hop off, the Omi Show will go live on Sirius XM channel 126. So if you have Sirius XM or you're in your cars or you have the app, tune in channel 126 at 11 a.m. The Omi Show comes on. Full transparency, this week will be a rerun because now I'm catching my bearings with being able to do the 30-day show and my show. So next week will be a brand new show. Okay, for the Omi Show, I have another co-host. His name is Cope. He's an investor. Also, great dude. So you'll see, cool guy. You'll see him on that show. On this show, I did have a co-host, Cameron Calvin. I don't know if he'll be back because going live every day is not for the faint of heart. Okay, so I no harm, no foul. If he has to tap out, I'm letting him. We're not gonna judge him. He gotta do what he gotta do. Maybe he'll bounce in and out, but other than that, I'm gonna be right here with y'all 90 days every day. Not 90 days. Lord have mercy. 90 minutes every day for 30 days. Now, let me tell you what I'm learning. Couple things I wanted to test out. You know how you watch like all the online gurus and they all are saying like, do this and just, comment under here and I'll give you my plan and yada, yada, yada. I've been observing and watching and commenting under people's posts and trying to look at the plans they're giving me and I can't follow them. I don't know if y'all face this, but I'm looking at it like, okay, but this don't even feel like something I could do. And so I was like, well, what could I do? And how do I want to experiment with it? I have new things that I'm launching and I wanted to figure out how to experiment what it would look like to start a new social profile. Because right now on my social profile, I'm doing decent, right? Like I have 28,000 followers on my Instagram. My TikTok is low, but the BGV TikTok is over 200,000 people. So like we built up. And it's like to think of going and starting a brand new profile. It's like, how am I gonna get all the content for it? I don't have time for that. So then I saw this post about like, going live every day and clipping it up. Well, each week I have been recording the Omi Show. And then after I record the Omi Show, it would clip and I would just post the clips to YouTube. And I saw my YouTube start growing. Like my subscribers was just growing and growing. So I was like, oh shoot, like there's something to this clipping thing. And like I said earlier, you got agencies that people are paying $10,000 a month. The people like when y'all see those bit podcasts like The Pivot and Club Shay Shay and all that, they're using clip services, humans that go in and clip, and they're paying them upwards of $10,000 a month to go in and create these clips from an hour, 2-hour show. I'm like, I don't got it to do that. I don't want to pay $10,000 a month. How could I? What should I do? So I noticed that StreamYard does better clipping than Opus Clips, in my opinion. I looked at the difference between the Opus clips and the StreamYard clips, and I was like, oh, these clips on StreamYard are really, really good. And I'm going to start, so how could I just do this on an autopilot and figure it out? So here's all that's happening behind the scenes. I'm sharing this with y'all intentionally because it is my heart's desire in any ways, and anybody who knows me from a business perspective or has had coaching with me, I want you to skip steps. If I went through it, there's no need in you going through it. So like, if I'm not trying to gatekeep this information, y'all like, how's she doing it? I'm gonna tell you exactly how I'm doing it. I'm using StreamYard. We go live every day for 90 minutes. I have someone that I hired to go in and do the content support for me. So I go live. Right after I go live, it's gonna pop up a pop-up that says, do you want to generate AI clips? I'm gonna click the button. It's gonna generate all the clips. It's gonna generate like 10 to 15 clips every day. In about 15 to 20 minutes. She goes in after me and she posts the clips to multiple platforms. We post the clips to, we don't post the clips to LinkedIn because only the live goes on LinkedIn. We post the clips to the YouTube Shorts on the Omi Show YouTube. We post the clips to the 30 Day Show Instagram and the 30 Day Show TikTok. Now, TikTok has an extra step that you have to take because it won't automatically post on TikTok. All the other platforms you can click inside of StreamYard, just click a button and then it just automatically posts. So literally all she's doing is going in, clicking. Like she'll look at the clips, she'll choose 7 to 10 of them, she'll post those clips, but it's only a click of a button to post them, except for TikTok. When you hit the TikTok post, it takes you to a notifications. So to put it in a notifications area in your DMs, so she actually has to physically open the app, go into TikTok, and then hit post, and it'll post it as if you're posting a new post. And she has to do that for 7 to 10 clips a day. That's probably the most laborious part. Honestly, like when I launch my next thing, I don't think I'm going to do the TikTok part. I think I'm going to do Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And then when I do that, she'll have an easier way to go because she can just literally click a button and it will post all those at once. And you can put the captions in. Right now, I'm not so much concerned about captions. StreamYard does a great job with the titling of the clip. So I just have her going in and posting the titling of the clip. Now I'm gonna add to our contract that she does a little bit of tweaking to the no, she doesn't. Great question, Eva. Eva asked me, does she clip the clips at all? Should she edit clips at all? No. She doesn't. She doesn't have to edit the clips in the way that StreamYard is set up. For the most part. No. Again, this is all experimentation, and that's why I'm sharing it. If she did edit the clips, we probably could get more traction on some of them. No, I think what she does though is sometimes she'll go in and she'll see on her own. Like I'm not requiring her to edit the clips. Sometimes she'll see that a clip is like kind of good or could have like a small tweak, and then she'll take it and she'll do a little small clip of the front or back edit, and then she'll post it. But I'm leaving that all up to her. Like I'm trusting her completely. I'm not instructing her to have to go in and edit the clips. The clips with StreamYard are pretty, like they're pretty solid. Like I didn't like what Opus Clips was giving me, and I like the StreamYard clips better. So if y'all can go take a look too. If you ever watch the full show, so like after today, so for those who are tuning in today, you're watching the show, go look at the 30-day show clips. Maybe in like, she has to post them according to the way I have the SOP written. She has to post them by 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So all clips are posted every day by 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I would say, today, go to the 30-day show Instagram or the 30-day show on TikTok, and then take a look at the clips that comes out. Because you're watching right now, so you see the full context of the show. But to see what clips come out, for you to get an idea of like the quality of clips, go take a look at the 30-day show Instagram later on today, and then you'll get an idea of like how the clips look, right? The only thing I don't like though is not all the clips have the captions, and there's probably some setting that I don't know the set, and that's just on me, and I need to figure that out or contact StreamYard to figure that out. I haven't gone that far because what I'm doing is I'm releasing control. I am essentially releasing control, and I'm releasing the like, oh, I want this clip to work, or I want that clip to work, or I want to make the content work. Like I'm releasing myself from that, and I'm just going to experiment. So she's flooding those clips on, like I said, we clip them on the Omi Show on YouTube, the 30-day show Instagram, the 30-day show TikTok. And so after she posts them, I'm not doing Facebook yet, but I think in the second week, I might go to adding them on Facebook. So after she does that, we just let the clips go. And I'm just looking at analytics now. So what I am noticing, there's a couple things. Posting so many clips a day that not all of them get views. So there's about, and this is what's interesting about the algorithm is what I'm observing, right? And so what I'm going to determine eventually is if we should post less clips or post them over more time, because she's flooding all at once. When she floods all at once, there's about 3 of the videos that don't typically get any views. Like when I look at it, it says 0 views. 0 views on Instagram, 0 views on TikTok. The reason that I know that this is because of the way we're posting them, and it's not because of the actual content, is because it hasn't had time enough to actually figure out what the content is. Like it's just I'm noticing that some the other clips that post a little later or either the first clip she posts. So we might actually be moving faster than the algorithm can catch what we're doing. So the posts that have 0 views at first may take longer to catch on because the algorithm has to catch up to what we're actually talking about. And so that I've been observing, and that's pretty interesting. Also, at the 30 Day Show on like Instagram and TikTok barely has any followers because we're just on day 8. I just started this 8 days ago. So it barely has any followers, but we are getting like 100 to 200 views. So it also made me like think about like, what do I care about most? Am I caring about the views or am I caring about the followers, and which one matters when? And like, do you have space to like let followers grow like over time and be like, whatever? And then say like, but somebody's seeing the content. There was a time in building these social profiles that all people wanted you to do was focus on followers. Oh, how many followers you got? How many followers you got? Nowadays, people are noticing that people can have thousands of followers and still not get any types of ROI off of working with them from a partnership perspective because people are not looking at the content, or people are not consistently, engaging in what the people are putting up. So I find myself really appreciating views more than I'm appreciating followers. And I find myself appreciating comments. Now, we haven't yet been driving comments. There's a couple tweets that I think we could make to make people to make to start like more conversation maybe. Because like I said, right now I'm just kind of like letting go of control and I'm just letting it flow and I'm just going to see what happens. And this letting go of control means I'm not trying to reach like this validation or credible point on follower count too. It also means like I'm not even attempting to overly impress or draw you or something like that. No, we're just creating the content, we're clipping it up and we're letting it go. And I want to see like what happens. Now, by the time we at the end of this 30 days, I'm gonna have an entire masterclass of information for y'all, but I'm just sharing right now. We're gonna start weekly analytics. At first I was like, let it fly. We're not even gonna talk about it. Like, I just want her to go in and clip it up. Go in and post the clips. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna move into a contract with her where we're doing weekly analytics. I want her to start observing what's happening behind the scenes, looking at the data, right? Also, what we found some hiccups in like posting all those clips at once is sometimes StreamYard will stop us, or some days she can only post like a few. So what we need to do is stretch out over time. In our SLP, I have her posting it by 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So what we may have to start doing is like right after I'm done, which would be like what, 10:30 y'all time? Right after 10:30 EST. So right after that, maybe we post it like every 30 minutes. If we get more intentional about posting it every 30 minutes, it would give the algorithm time to catch up to what that clip was saying. And then we could also maybe get more traction on it that way, right? And I mean, overall, my goal is to study. I don't have a goal of going viral with something. I don't have a goal of like, at this moment, I'm not even really trying to get followers. My goal is to study what the algorithm is doing. And over the course of 30 days, the algorithm may shift in multiple ways. Because in my next thing that I'm going to launch, I absolutely want to go in trusting the content. And I want to go in with a content strategy to get the word out about what I'm studying and what I'm seeing and like this new effort that I want to drop. And I absolutely want to focus on ROI for that next effort. So I'm using this to experiment. Now, part of the 30 Day Show is an experiment, not only in like the content creation and how automated can I get this and what do I need a human for, right, inside of this automated content system. The other part of this is that I also got tired of like all the shows doing the same exact formats all the time. I love, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Kevin Hart. I'm a fan of, Taraji. I'm a fan of all these great people that, but I've seen so many interviews with them that I don't know what else they can tell me. I don't know what else I can learn from them at this point. And like, just because you're an athlete, great, love that. Love you, wonderful. So it's like I watch so many of the podcasts and like celebrity interviews. And don't get me wrong, they're great folks and they're talking about the same thing. But when people start on like a rotation of interviews, and I'm like, I've seen you on this show, that show, this show, and that show, I'm over it. I've learned nothing new from you. And now I just want to see you go back into your profession and do whatever it is I really liked you for, because I'm tired. So in opening up the interview slots to whoever wants to join that was in my network, it has been fantastic. And I have my last guest of today I'm about to bring up. Thank you so much for holding while I did that. Um, it's been fantastic to bring to my broader audience these amazing people who are in my network who are doing like such good work in the world, and also have these like sometimes coaching moments or sometimes brainstorming moments just that could be open for everyone to see, because this is where the real sauce is. You know what I mean? Like the real, like us really having real conversations with each other about how you doing what you doing, versus sort of like the set of interview questions that you can only ask the celebrity because they don't want to talk about, they don't want to really get into how they really doing things, like, or somebody trying to do celebrity tea. And don't get me wrong, I'm here for all of that. I'm not downplaying any ways that shows are doing what they're doing, because they're doing what they're doing for the audience that they bring in. And I want to do this because there's an audience that I want to bring forward of executives and professionals and business people, where it's important to me to be able to showcase like what businesses are doing internally and inside of them, like open the box of business and show people like what's inside. Because when we see businesses failing, we see that's all the talk. It becomes the talk is like, oh, look how they're failing. Oh, look how like the story on Uncle Nearest continues to unfold right in front of us in this really dramatic way, and we don't know what to believe, because on one and I'm a fan of the brand and I believe in wanting them to exist, and then you got on one end you got Fawn doing her post about one thing, and on the other end you got people like reading the actual transcripts of the actual hearings, and it's not always matching up to the same thing that Fawn is saying. And so I'm like, I don't actually know what to believe. I just want them to exist. And so I think sometimes people also need to hold on like all the content creation until a thing has fully come to fruition or fully wrapped in a certain way. So it's like figuring out what to learn from it all. Because if anything, I'm watching the Uncle Near story thinking, what can I learn here? Not so that I can, criticize or, pull down Fawn in any way, or like the company. Like, I want them to exist. But what can we learn from it? Doesn't always come out of these situations, because when you're in the middle of it, you don't got time to be teaching for real. You dealing with a lot. You're under stress. And then when it's done, you're trying to recover from the stress. And then all the news articles are just trying to pull out the most clickbait thing. So it's kind of hard to figure out what to follow. So if there's anything I could do here to help people skip steps, to actually open the box of business that presented to you, to say like, hey, actually, here's what's really happening behind the scenes of this thing, not in some type of dramatic way, but really like, here's what decisions not to make. Here's what decisions to make. And speaking of that, my next guest wants to talk to us about life insurance. So for our last half of the show, I'm gonna bring up Corey Harris. Welcome to the show. How you feeling, Corey? Uh-oh, I can't hear you. Wait, I don't know. You might have to go out and come back in. Sometimes it gets weird. Okay, yeah. So he'll come out, he'll come back in. But yeah, I think that now also, so I see, let me look this up. I see that Corey is coming us to talk to us about Legacy Shield. I want to be careful with that too, because, and I'm going to break it down, because Legacy Shield, I believe, is one of those franchise insurance company agents. So we're gonna wait a minute. It says Corey's here, but I don't see him. So I wanna break down that too, because there's some staple things over the course of our lives that we've seen. What happened to prepaid legal? Y'all remember them? Y'all remember what? Matter of fact, let me Google that. What happened to prepaid legal? What happened to prepaid legal? Because that used to be hot at one point. Okay, prepaid legal services was acquired by Mid-Ocean Partners in 2011 and taken private and rebranded as Legal Shield. Oh, interesting. And then I'm curious. I know it looks like Corey's coming to talk to us, but I wonder if Legal Shield and Legacy Shield related services. Oh, there's a lawsuit somewhere. Is it the same company? Let me see. Okay, Legal Shield and Legacy Shield are not the same company. They're distinct entities. Okay, got it. Oh, with parent companies and core focuses. So got it. Legal Shield is owned by the parent company. Oh wow. Okay, so Legal Shield is now prepaid legal. Legacy Shield is about estate planning. Okay, I just want to make sure I got that. All right, Corey, we're gonna bring you up. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Can we hear you now? No, I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on. That's what I was thinking too, Eva. That's my question to Corey. Like, is it like Primerica? Okay, he said no. He said no, he was not. But I don't know what's going on with the audio. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't know. It gets weird like that sometimes. Can you hear me okay? I guess you can't hear me. Okay, good. Maybe try from your phone too, if that's helpful. You maybe send a link to your phone, see if you can try that way. And then we can see if that'll work. Okay, wait, some comments. Shout out to Luxury Larice. Yeah, somebody said the scheduling post was better because it gives them time to push out. Yeah, actually, I don't know. Scheduling, I do think scheduling is helpful. I also think that like the platforms are built to notice like native posting. So even us like sharing from another platform, the platforms know that we're sharing from another platform. And so I think sometimes it gets weird around the algorithm thinking, because okay, in its purest form, the algorithms are meant to like view you as a real person. So in its purest form, all the idea behind social media platforms right now and their algorithms is that they want real people owning their channels. Like, and that's the thing about YouTube. YouTube wants you to own that channel. They don't like, what I mean by that is they want you to like post like it is your own TV series station. They don't want you kind of like doing the like, oh, well, I kind of post sometime, but like, oh, I'm posting just to do a thing. They want people to like really get into it. So if you notice, the people who have millions of followers are the people who are into it. Like they are YouTubers. Like they're not doing YouTube on the side. This is what they do. And this is what they're spending the majority of their time on. So it's really interesting. And that's what the platforms essentially want. So they do know when you're posting from other platforms. They do know when you're posting natively. Like all these kind of things could be impacting your content, not heavily, but it does matter. The scheduling thing is a good point, Larice, because because it's helpful around the like time frame. As a human, we want to just get it out and get it done and be done with it. but timing it, giving it time to sort of settle in, I think is giving it time to cook a little bit, giving it time to brown a little bit. I think it does matter. All right, Corey, I think you're back. Let's see. Okay. All right, there you go. I can hear you.
All right.
All right, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thank you for joining. Okay, tell us about Legal Shield. I'm sorry, it's not Legal Shield. Lord have mercy. Scratch it from the record. Tell us about Legacy Shield.
All right, so Legacy Shield is I'm an independent agent, so that is a company that I started, and I'm in the infant stage right now. So I'm filing all the necessary paperwork, and in the process of getting a website together. So my plan is I will be selling term life insurance and also whole life and IULs. So
what's IUL?
It's similar to whole life. It's index universal life. So when you pay your premiums in that policy, part of your premiums are invested for the most part, and it gains interest over time, and you also receive dividends
from an IUL. Okay, talk to the people about term life, whole life, IUL. Almost like if you give us so wait, I'm sorry, back up. Legacy Shield overall. So Eva asked a good question, is it like Primerica? And you said no. What is the difference then? What's the difference between it? Because Primerica also had like brokers and you would go on and sell. Like, is it not Tell me more.
So the funny thing is, I did work with Primerica when I first got my license, but the difference between what I'm doing now and Primerica focus only on term policies,
Mm.
and also they business structure a little different. Part of what they do is they try to bring other people into the insurance industry, so you kind of have like two streams of income, but they kind of focus, in my opinion, they focus more on bringing people in than the life insurance aspect of it.
Mm.
So
So Legacy Shield is more like starting your own State Farm franchise for insurance, for life insurance,
yes, yes, in a
versus
way.
like
And
a prepaid legal. The more people you bring in, the bigger you become. It's not that.
no, it's not
Okay,
that.
got
This just me independently doing it for myself. I partner with different insurance carriers. So for example, like when I do get started, I can, if you come in, we could talk and look at your needs and things like that. And I can compare policies from different companies to see which one fits you best.
Okay, got it. So, because I work with a
Mhm.
company called NFP, and so they do that
Okay.
for us. They do it for my life insurance, but they also do it for us from like live. Because you also do like liability insurance, like company, like business insurance and things like that too. We have, we go through them. We went through them for multiple pieces.
So me, no, I'll just be focusing on life insurance now.
Okay.
Down the line, I may be, venturing off into other aspects of insurance. But right now, because I'm learning as I go, and like this is a lot. I gotta make sure I understand before I, get off into the other things.
Oh, Chat and Bother asked a good question. What made you choose Legal Shield? What made you choose? I keep saying, let me get that right. What made you choose Legacy Shield? Did something happen in your life that was to make it important to you?
So, so I was trying to come up with a name that I felt like reflect what I want to do best. So the way I look at life insurance is you not only leaving something for your beneficiary, but you're trying to leave something for them to give them an opportunity to do other things that they would like to do in life. Because growing up, I had like a lot of ideas on things I want to do, like different, like new products and stuff like that. But I didn't have the time, I didn't have the knowledge, and nothing like that. So just looking at the life insurance from that perspective, and I know it's kind of like a issue that like a lot of us don't really like to talk about, but it's a discussion that has to be had, and we.
Wait a minute though. Let me make sure I understand. So,
Mhm.
so Legacy Shield is your company, or is this a broader company that you become a licensee of?
No, this is my company.
Got it.
Uh,
So that's what was confusing me because I
oh,
think
okay.
like what is prominent is Legal Shield, and then there's and what you're saying is Legacy
Le-
Shield. So when I look up legacyshield.com, it takes me
Uh,
to a whole other platform that doesn't have anything to do with insurance. So let me back up and make sure it's clear for the people. So
okay.
Legacy Shield is your company, Corey Harris, that
Yeah.
you have launched centered around as an insurance broker,
Yes.
centered around life insurance. And where are you based?
Missouri.
Okay, in Missouri, got it. And
Mhm.
so with that, are you licensed just in Missouri or are you licensed in other states?
I'm currently only licensed in Missouri. I will be licensed in Illinois, like within the next month.
Okay, and so you just started this.
Yeah.
And then I think for Chat and Bother, and the question that they have is, is there a personal story here? Because I think like yes to like understanding that like yes, we need to leave something to people. But like, is
Mhm.
there something that was more personal to you? Like why you could be doing anything in the world. You could be going to
Uh-huh.
be an electrician. You could be going and selling the seven seas, climbing mountains. I don't know. But like, why start an insurance company?
It's I think like what bothered me and what kind of motivated me to do it is like seeing like young people in particular like pass away, and seeing families trying to scrape by and get the necessary funding to for the arrangements and things like that, and doing fish fries and GoFundMe and all that. And I think it's a better way to go about it. And like I say, those things, it just, when I see those things like that, don't sit right with me, and I feel like it's something that I can do to help. So that's kind of the what motivated me. That's my angle at going at this. There's some like this out of my comfort zone, because I'm an introvert by nature. So, but it's kind of I feel like gravity pulling me,
What's
to
your website?
I haven't created the website yet, because like I said, I'm in like the infant stage. I'm still filing the necessary paperwork right now. I should be up there.
Oh,
Yeah, I should
because
be up there.
I hope you may need to do some deep research on that, because Legacy Shield is attached to a few different things. So you might need to like do some research on like the name and like generally like what it means. But let's talk about as much as you could tell us about insurance per se. So
Okay.
let's compare the different things. Term life, whole life, IUL. Could you give us like by the way, let me take a step back. I want to first recognize that you're new to it and that you're just starting and that you just got licensed, because I also want to just apologize, because my expectations are like when people come, I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to know all the things about everything you got going on. And like, but I hear you saying like, okay, it's new. So let me take a step back from all my questioning. By the way, I'm at the 90-minute mark, y'all. So I'm gonna try to wrap it up too. But how can I be helpful? Let me say that, because I think that like you set the time to come onto the show,
Yeah.
but you're so new in it that I can't really ask you but for so many questions. So how can I be helpful? What can I do to support you?
So the support I would say I need is, I guess, just trying to come up with an understanding, because I know like the audience that I'm focused on, they have a certain perception of life insurance, and I'm trying to tap into that to see how can I change that.
Okay.
So
What do you see as the current perception of life insurance? And is it go ahead, because I know where I'm going, but tell me, what do you see as the current perception of life insurance?
I think for a lot of us, we don't see the importance of it. We see it as something that's unnecessary. I think that we don't see it as a way to give give the younger generation a step forward.
One of the things that I see is that I think there's that, and then I think underneath that is we don't want to talk about death. Like it's taboo to talk about like death. Funeral plans, okay, but we don't want to deeply talk about dying. And I think that this is what's interesting about, the conversations around access to capital, right? Is because like we'll say Black people need access to capital. We don't have the same generational wealth. We don't have the we don't have people we don't have anybody giving us access to money to create our businesses, have our businesses last, for our businesses to keep evolving, yada yada yada. We'll say all that. We'll see Black-owned businesses shutting down. We'll see minority-owned businesses struggling, and we'll go, that's because nobody would give us access to capital. But the greatest transfer of capital is at death. So if you don't right now decide to, create a policy of some sort, even if you start out as term and move to whole, because whole life is also more expensive. But if you can't afford a whole life right away and you can afford term life, we start somewhere. Keeping in mind that like term life is not building like more equity for you. in a sense. But if you were to pass away, it will pay out to your beneficiaries,
Yeah.
right? And so I think that figuring out how you leave something is going to be important. Now, the game around access to capital, and I'm not sure you can tell me if you want to expand on this. The
Mhm.
game around access to capital too is getting a whole life policy, being able to either have that policy grow, and at some point being able to take capital out of that policy that you can use for your everyday life to buy a house, things like that, and continue to build that policy over time. It kind of like that policy feeds you as you feed it. It can, depending on how you decide to leverage it and use it. So it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be that it's access to capital only when you die, but it does have to be that it is an investment that you're continuing to build, that you could potentially use access to capital over the course of years as you pay into it more. I think that like
Yeah.
there's a couple
Exactly.
things. One, I think we don't want to talk about death. Two, I think the part about like building equity into it such that you can use it while you're still alive, it sounds scammy. I'm gonna be honest. There's so many
Mhm.
online gurus talking about it, having all this. Oh yeah, and all you got to do is start a trust, and if you start a trust, have the insurance pay out to the trust, and then if you do this, and then the boop boop bop and that, and then everybody's like, wait, what? Like I'm gonna
Mhm.
need a lawyer. I can't afford a lawyer. Like the level of I can't afford goes deep when these things happen. People immediately
Right.
they watch the content and go, yeah. I should start a trust. And then you go into like looking into what it costs to start a trust. Honestly, it doesn't cost a whole lot. It's just that the lawyer fee is probably like $5,000. So you're like, well, I can't start a trust right now. And then somehow that kind of falls off. Or you're like, oh, I'm gonna get a whole life policy. Well, I can't add an extra $1,000 a month, $800 a month to what I have. It's like I don't even know how to do it. Because you start to Google, you start to look, research, you find things. So one of the most powerful things I think you can do, Corey,
Yes.
is to find partnerships to hold small sessions, intimate sessions. I spoke about prepaid legal earlier, but the
Yeah.
way they were doing it, there was something to that. Let's have a small session. Let's talk about it. You know what I mean? And then giving them like, here's the difference in between the three. But another thing I would love for you to do is one, lean into your own confidence building and storytelling.
I got you.
Or partner with someone that's a great storyteller and you're just coming in with the sort of closing information. So maybe somebody else gets up and tells their story about as a part of my story, one of the reasons why I was like, why I got into like getting life insurance or thinking about this is because like when my grandma passed away, she had nothing to leave. She was renting her house. We were sitting around thinking about how we who gonna get the couch or the TV. Those were the assets. It wasn't property with equity. It wasn't, some big life insurance policy that then we could go $1 million life insurance policy that then could change anybody's life. Right.
Mhm.
Now, what she gave me while she was on earth is immeasurable. Right. But what she could leave me is also immeasurable in its impact had we been more into making sure we develop these policies that would allow her legacy to continue in a certain way. So I think like talking about people when it's like, you do all this work on your waking life every day, but like, what is your legacy and how do you want to leave it? Because it's inevitable that this life, the way we're living it at this moment, will come to a close and we will transition to another realm. And that is not a bad thing to have to talk about or talk through. But I think that like part of the challenge in minority groups is the conversation about death.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it gets a little sticky. So if there's ways to, one, you gotta create comfort from the top to the bottom. And so what I mean by that is when I'm saying to you get more confident and more fluid, it's because I gotta trust you in order to want to have this conversation about something that is sensitive to me.
Right. Right.
And your audience will have to trust you in order to feel more. So having like intimate settings, like working with local churches, working with local like moms of like rec centers or things like that, figuring out not the senior center themselves, but like the relatives of seniors, could be interesting. So going to like family days at senior citizens homes, that's kind of predatory. So I don't know, maybe don't do that. But going to thinking of ways to like how you want to move in the community
Hmm.
is really going to be the case. You know what I mean? So it's like
I understand.
really that is really going to be it. And you getting fluid and comfortable and like who you are around this is also going to be the case. So when I'm saying like why did you get into this or why did you do it? I get like cuz I want people to win. Love that. But like some
Yeah.
storytelling would be helpful. What has happened in your
Okay.
family? What has happened to somebody you absolutely know and then name them? Like
Okay.
this in the
Okay.
storytelling. Okay, well, like I'm saying, like my grandma passed away, and I realized all we were doing was divvying up who was going to get the TV or the couch. I would say that
Hmm.
like people know that experience. Like shout out to Luxury Larice who's sharing in the chat. Thank you so much for sharing. His mom passed away 2 years after retirement, and she didn't have her own private insurance. I learned fast, but also you need to have a trust set up as well. Thank you for sharing that, and I'm so sorry for your loss. I think that it is important to be able to help us. The helping understand is not necessarily about data. It's not necessarily about numbers. It's
Hmm.
really about who do we trust. And this is one of the challenges. Like I'll give you an example of like what happens when people absolutely trust. It is to your benefit to help the community that you see by them trusting you because there's so many people who shouldn't be trusted that are absolutely going to do what's necessary to get in front of this community. And that is what we don't want, right?
Right.
The reason why
Right.
senior citizens get taken advantage of is because they find this person or this person finds them and targets them and gains their trust.
Yeah.
And then they don't do the best thing by them. And you seem like a person who has a good heart and really wants to do the best thing by the community. And so I think that
Yeah.
like it is we need you to get fluid around this. We need you to get comfortable with talking about it. We need you to go out and get these partnerships or find a co-founder or a salesperson that works with you that is comfortable with being the extrovert and doing the dance, and then you're just doing the back end stuff. But figuring out what that means, if you're not ready to push yourself into being an extrovert, I'm not saying that you have to. I'm saying you strategically can do what's best to pull people together, to be able to put the story in front of folks that breaks down the education, but it's not just the education. It is literally trust building.
Uh-huh. I understand that. That makes a lot of sense too. And I appreciate the feedback because there's really something that I wasn't looking at that way,
Yeah.
because I do have like the people's best interests at heart, but I haven't been thinking about how am I getting that across? So yeah, I really do appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining. And I wish you luck on what you're working on. Because like I say, it seems like you have a good heart. You really do want to help. And I think we need more people like that in the world for sure. It's an important thing.
Mhm.
And I think it's such a community building thing, right? So I thank you so much for sharing with us. Is there somewhere are
Thank
you on
you.
like Instagram or anything like that or no?
No, I'm not. I am on
Record.
Facebook.
Okay, come on now. Get on the good foot. We're gonna be looking
I
out
know.
for you, all right?
I know. I appreciate it.
Okay, all right. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
All right, bye. Maria, hey Maria girl. She said, that's real, but before they operate as predatory, my grandmother, PD insurance for 65 years. Her policy was only worth $1,000. Wow. She paid into insurance for 65 years and her policy was only worth $1,000. Oh my God. I think this is why I'm like good-hearted folks. And again, what I'm here for to be as helpful as I can, because what good people with good hearts who want to do good in the world, I still believe. I know. I get it. Maybe I'm crazy. And I get it. There's all this stuff happening and we're freaking we're in a World War III and like there's scammers everywhere and like, people are lying online and there's so many things that, that are happening where there's so many reasons to not trust anybody. There's so many reasons to not trust the person you see. There's so many reasons to not trust the thing that's right in front of you now with AI. I get it. Oh, sorry, my nails look crazy. But trust me, even though my nails look crazy. But I think that there's so much space for that. But I am a serial optimist. Okay. And I know that might make me a little crazy right now, but like I'm a serial optimist. I still believe in people. I still believe in goodness. I still believe, and I try to make a concerted effort through nervous system regulation to maintain that belief in humanity, because it's the one thing that nobody can strip from me if I hold to it. And so I empower and encourage you to figure out your ways of that, or what that means for you, because your belief and your trust in humanity is the one thing that they can't strip. They're trying to strip it. They're trying to like condition you to not trust each other, not trust the government, and walk around in this state of fear. Because if you're in a state of fear, you can't be rational. If you're in a state of fear, you can't think strategically. If you're in a state of fear, I went to a documentary screening last night, and I'm way over my typical time, but I'm having fun, and it's Sunday, and here we go. And by the way, in 15 minutes, my SiriusXM show will air. You should absolutely go to SiriusXM channel 126 and listen to it. But I was at this documentary screening last night, and it was about Dreams in Black, and it was a young woman producer who created this, and it was lovely to watch everybody in the audience be so proud of her and so awesome for what she had accomplished and done with her finishing this documentary. And one of the questions was about about Black culture. And one of the people responding to the question said, like, we are so impactful. And I was like, that is a way to put it. Yeah. And like, I actually want to note that, because as Black people, right? And everybody watching me ain't Black, but for right now, I'm speaking to my folks. Also, we'll talk about it in a second. But Black people are so freaking impactful, right? And it's known that we're impactful. And so it is worth it for those who want to lower that impact, and again, I want to be very clear. I'm not speaking to race right now. I'm not speaking to race. I'm not speaking to gender. I am speaking generally people who want to negatively or lower that impact. It is worth it for them to invest in it because they see how impactful we are. We see how impactful we are, and I believe we don't always know what to do with it, right? Like there's multiple negative commentary pieces that people can, go into around like, oh, well, Black people need to. You're not going to hear me doing much of the Black people need to thing. I'm not going to be doing that, just because that is not what I believe at this moment in time after doing this work I've been doing for this last decade. I'm not granted, like there's things where I'm like, if you need help, ask, regulate your nervous system, like that kind of thing, all those kind of things. But ultimately, what you're hearing me talking more about is how impactful we are, knowing how impactful we are, and then deciding where, how, and when we want to use that impact. Our decision making is if I were to say like we need to do something, I'm going to say, let's talk about decision making, right? And this is an individual thing, and it's a broad community thing. But we are already impactful. And in that case, some of the times when we don't give each other grace, or some of the times when we get upset with each other for the things that each other is doing, I am now realizing, oh, that's because we don't know how to say this, but deep down we realize how impactful we are. So when they go to like, oh, well, like they'll look at one Black person and they'll judge like all Black people off of it. So we want all Black people to be so great, act the same or act at the same level of whatever excellence we have defined. When people do that, at first I was like, you don't get to tell nobody what they get to be doing. If she want to walk outside with a bonnet on, let her walk outside with a bonnet on. Whatever, what they got to do with me? If she want to walk outside with flip-flops and, flat shoes and do whatever, what they got to do with me? But what I am now hearing underneath that, because I'm gonna move away from the trauma response of what is it called? what is it called, y'all? Lord have mercy. Whatever. I cannot think of the name. Respectability politics. I'm gonna remove from respectability politics as a trauma response. I'm gonna move away from that, and I want to reframe this, and I want to slightly move my camera this way, right? Move my lens of life this way to see a different picture. And in that, what I'm seeing is that we realize how impactful that we are in each other. We realize that. And so what that older person is really saying to that young person is young person, you're impactful. Know that. And don't let them take it away from you. Right? And in that case, is this what you want to do with your impact? And that's the thing you got to ask yourself today, tomorrow, whoever you are, whatever you are deciding, whatever decisions you're making, is this what you want to do with your impact? Is it? And it might be yes. And that doesn't mean you're going to say, no, that might be yes. And if so, have at it. And I have to be mindful of where I'm impacted by the way you feel like your impact should work, and where I need to settle my nervous system down so I'm not having a trauma response to racism, and I'm not having the trauma response of now having to be engaging in respectability politics with you, because I realize that, like, hey, the nature of what I'm feeling is that I want my impact to be different, and I want your impact to be different. And I'm so invested in the impact of Black people on America, on culture, that I'm trying to control it. And I'm not saying me specifically. I'm talking about this is in the narratives we see spewed around Black community. It's because we realize, and again, we haven't been articulating it this way, but we realize how impactful we are. And we want to control that impact because we're nervous that somebody's going to co-opt it. We're nervous that somebody's going to steal it, take it, do something with it. And so it's like, oh my God, I'm using the bonnet thing as an example. If she walking outside with a bonnet, oh my God, like that's so, how impressionable is she? Right? Like that's what we're really saying underneath. So I've learned to now give grace to some of the older generations that have who say these things to us. Like, don't do this, don't do that, don't act like that, don't be over here doing this, like that. What they're saying to you is, hey, you're impactful. And when I see you making certain moves, I'm noticing that you might be impressionable and that you're not noticing how impactful you are. And that is what I'm now learning to take that as, right? And so if that's helpful for anybody out there, as you are, walking through life, as you are talking to young folks, as you are trying to get through to generations that are not yours, as you're trying to get through to generations that are yours, as you're trying to get through to people who have different belief systems, slow down and ask yourself, what am I actually trying to control in this other person? And how am I realizing the impact that they have and the impact that we all have? And then how am I attempting to impact them? And is that actually positive for them? Does it actually work? And maybe there's some way that we pour into each other, and that's actually more impactful to the girl with the bonnet on. Right? Because the girl with the bonnet on is a scientist. You know why she's a scientist? Because she's realized her hair does not need to meet certain elements in order for the outcome that she wants. She's determined that I don't give about none of what it looks like. My hair does not need to be subject to the elements right now for whatever I am trying to have in my outcome. Right? She is also understanding that what I would present without this bonnet on is also not the outcome that I want. So it is not true that this woman is mindlessly walking out just with a bonnet on because she don't care about life. You know what I mean? And granted, I'm just asking you to take your lens and just slightly move one way or the other and see what else you can see. Because what it will cause you to do is calm your nervous system around the trauma response we're having to racism. Okay, and I mean, and again, that's not even related to whatever race or gender you are. I'm saying, period. As a society, the elements that be are keeping us caged in a trauma response such that we can't think clearly about how to work with each other. And it's by design and it's intentional. Okay. I don't even know what made me go there today because I wasn't planning on going there, but yeah, I just new perspective shifting. And again, we have this purview, but if you literally shift one way or the other, you could see a whole different picture that you're like, dang, I never thought about if I just turn around. Yeah, and so if I can be helpful and shift the perspectives, I'm 100% going to be investing in that because I think it's just so important that we start looking at life different. And when you do, it opens up your world in such a way that you didn't even imagine could be possible. And that's what happens when you get to different levels of access. I think while I have reached certain levels of rooms, there's other rooms and other levels I want to reach. I haven't been to like the F1 private box yet, you know what I'm saying? But like, I'm sure that looks like something different, right? I am fascinated. I'm fascinated by the conversations that happen in these rooms. I'm fascinated by the level of simplicity that's happening in these private clubs. I'm fascinated by the way people at different levels of wealth are some of the most basic people you'll ever meet. However, there's some genius in that simplicity that we don't often notice too. And it comes from them having some privilege. Being able to be simple is a privilege. Okay? Because that means that like there's some things you must not have to think about in life in order for you to be able to be real simple. Also in the documentary last night, the one of the things that they were saying is like going to a HBCU and all of the things you have to face. Like, you hear people talk about like HBCUs and how like your financial aid gets messed up. Your dorm, this, classroom ain't got no AC. Like all the things that we had to deal with at an HBCU make you hella resilient. And so she was equating it to after she got out of college, the job that she ended up with, the mentor that she ended up with, she really hunted him down to get it. And she's like, that's part of like, and not that we want HBCUs to not be delivering, it's not that we want HBCUs to be delivering terribly so we can be resilient. It's not that. It's just a fact of life that there's some things happening in your life that make you more resilient. And I will also dare say, as we give whatever levels of grace we can to people who are not like us, and even if that is the young woman with the bonnet on, and you looking at her like, ugh, how dare you come out the house like that? Like, you don't know what kind of levels of resilience that she had to get through to even get out the house. So grace is in order all the way around, but not only grace, a shift in perspective that helps you understand how you are impactful as a person and how you're trying to impact others and how much control you have over that and you don't. So, all right, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm at like 2 hours of being on, but I really, if I have space to share as much as I can, I want to share as much as I can. I want to share other people's stories and things they're working on as much as I can as well. So I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank you to my morning crew, Kanisha, Maria, Tiffany, Larice. Shout out Chat and Bother. You're new, but welcome. I had Corey, Dr. Corey, Dr. Bravo. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. All the people on Instagram that are tuning in. Again, Instagram is a little bit too, let's see, people. Nasa, love it. Love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. All my people that are making comments, Bougie in the kitchen, Miss Chocolate. Yeah, I love it. Let me tell y'all, reading usernames on Instagram is so funny. But I appreciate all of y'all. It's the 30-day show. I'll be right back tomorrow for 90 minutes. If you have SiriusXM, tune in now to channel 126 to listen to the Yomi Show on SiriusXM channel 126. Also, you can follow me everywhere. It's at the 30-day show on Instagram, but at Omi Bell on Instagram is my personal Instagram, and then at the Omi Show on YouTube. And subscribe to the YouTube. My goal is to get my watch hours up on YouTube so I can move into partner to the monetization, Lord. But I appreciate y'all. Keep it locked right here. Tomorrow, I'll be right back. And yeah, we'll keep it popping. We'll keep it going. The conversation's been great. Have a great rest of your day. Happy Sunday.